power does not always speak in loud voices or bright lights, because sometimes it moves quietly, through numbers, papers, and decisions that shape the lives of millions before anyone notices. It is early morning in the capital city, where wide streets stretch between old buildings made of stone and glass, and where flags move slowly in the air, as the sun rises over offices, banks, and government halls. And in this place and time, the president begins another day, surrounded not only by advisors and guards, but by something far more powerful and lasting, which is control over money, spending, and the direction of a nation's wealth. This moment matters because money is not just currency or paper or numbers on a screen, but the lifeblood of modern countries, flowing through schools, hospitals, armies, roads, farms, and families, and the president stands at the center of this flow, able to guide it, slow it, or send it rushing toward chosen goals. Long before the president enters the office, the idea of financial power is already written into the history of the nation, shaped by past leaders, past crises, and past promises, because every country learns through struggle that money can build or break trust, lift people up or push them down, and change the course of history without firing a single shot. The office of the president is often seen as a place of speeches and ceremonies. Yet behind closed doors, it is also a place of budgets, forecasts, and decisions about who gets help and who must wait. And these choices are rarely simple, because every coin spent in one place is a coin not spent in another. In quiet rooms filled with long tables and soft lights, financial reports are opened and read carefully, showing numbers that tell stories of growth and loss, of strong years and hard years, and the president must understand these stories, because each line can mean jobs created or lost, prices rising or falling, and hope growing or fading for ordinary people. The importance of this power becomes clear when the nation faces danger, such as war, disease, or economic collapse, because in those moments, the president's control over financial tools can decide how fast help arrives, how strong defenses become, and how long the country can endure the storm. Money allows the president to act quickly, to move resources from one area to another, to support banks so they do not fail, to help businesses stay alive, and to give people confidence that tomorrow will still come, even when fear fills the air. Yet this power is not unlimited because it exists within laws, systems, and agreements built over many years, and the president must work with lawmakers, financial institutions, and international partners, all of whom have their own interests, fears, and limits. Still, the influence of the president remains strong, because a single signature can unlock vast sums of money, approve major projects, or stop spending altogether, and these actions can change markets, affect currencies, and send signals across the world in a matter of hours. In the global age, the financial power of the president does not stop at national borders, because decisions made in one capital can affect prices, jobs, and stability in distant countries, linking the fate of workers and families across oceans and continents. When the president speaks about the economy, investors listen closely, not only to the words, but to the tone, the timing, and the meaning behind them, because confidence and fear are powerful forces, and they can rise or fall based on a single announcement. This is why financial power carries mystery, because much of its strength lies not in what is seen, but in what is expected, believed, and trusted, and the president must guard this trust carefully, knowing it can take years to build and moments to lose. The president's role in shaping budgets is one of the clearest signs of financial power, because budgets are not just plans, but moral statements showing what a nation values and what it is willing to sacrifice, whether it chooses to invest in children, protect the weak, or prepare for future threats. Every budget is a map of priorities, drawn with numbers instead of lines, and the president holds the pen that guides this map, even as others argue over its direction and meaning. Taxes are another key part of this power, because they decide how money moves from private hands into public use, and changes to taxes can encourage work, saving, or spending, or they can slow the economy if handled poorly. When the president supports tax cuts or increases, the effects ripple outward, touching households, businesses, and entire industries, often in ways that are hard to predict and even harder to control. Debt also sits at the heart of presidential financial power, because governments often borrow money to meet needs today while promising to pay it back tomorrow, and the president must decide how much debt is safe, how much is risky, and how future generations will carry its weight. Borrowing can build roads, fund research, and support growth, but it can also become a silent burden, growing larger year by year, and the president must balance hope for progress with fear of collapse. The control over spending during crises reveals the true reach of this power, because when disaster strikes, rules can bend, speed becomes vital, and the president can direct massive funds toward rescue, recovery, and rebuilding. In these moments, money moves faster than law, faster than debate, and faster than doubt, and the president becomes the central figure in a race against time. Yet even as this power saves lives and stabilizes nations, it raises questions that never fully disappear, questions about fairness, transparency, and who truly benefits from the flow of public money. Behind every large financial decision, there are winners and losers, and the president must live with the knowledge that not everyone will agree with the choices made, even when intentions are honest. The mystery deepens when we look at the hidden side of financial power, where influence is shaped not only by official actions, but by relationships, advice, and pressure from powerful groups who understand money well. Banks, corporations, and wealthy individuals often seek access to the president, hoping to shape policies in their favor. And while laws exist to limit abuse, the pull of money remains strong and constant. This is why trust is the most valuable currency in the president's hands, because once people believe financial decisions serve only a few, faith in the system begins to crack, and rebuilding that faith can take a generation. History offers many lessons about presidents who used financial power wisely, and those who did not, showing how careful planning can lead to long periods of growth, while reckless choices can lead to deep and lasting pain. In some eras, presidents guided nations through poverty into prosperity by investing in education, industry, and innovation, using financial tools to unlock human potential and create shared success. In other times, poor decisions, corruption, or short-term thinking led to inflation, debt, and collapse, leaving scars that remained long after the leaders were gone. The financial power of the president is also shaped by culture and values, because what one society sees as necessary spending, another may see as waste, and these beliefs influence how money is used and judged. This power becomes even more complex in democratic systems, where voters demand results, but often disagree on methods, forcing presidents to navigate a narrow path between action and approval. Elections themselves are deeply tied to financial power, because economic conditions often decide who stays in office and who leaves, turning money into both a tool of leadership and a measure of success. The president knows that rising prices, job losses, or shrinking savings can erase years of political work, even if the causes lie beyond direct control, making financial leadership both powerful and fragile. International agreements add another layer, because trade deals, sanctions, and aid programs all involve large sums of money and long-term commitments, tying national finances to global stability. When the president chooses to support or punish another nation through financial means, the effects can be stronger than weapons, reshaping alliances, weakening enemies, or sparking new conflicts without a single soldier moving. Sanctions, in particular, show the quiet strength of financial power, because they rely on control over markets, banks, and access to resources, turning money into a tool of pressure and persuasion. Yet sanctions also reveal limits, because they can hurt ordinary people more than leaders, raising moral questions that presidents must face when choosing this path. The wonder of financial power lies in its ability to create change without visible force, to move societies through incentives rather than commands, and to shape behavior through opportunity and risk. A subsidy can encourage farmers to grow more food. A grant can push scientists to explore new ideas, and a loan guarantee can help small businesses take chances they would otherwise avoid. Through these tools, the president can guide the future, not by ordering it into existence, but by making certain paths easier to follow than others. Still, uncertainty always remains, because economies are living systems, driven by human behavior, emotion, and belief, and even the best plans can fail when fear or greed takes over. This uncertainty gives financial power its mysterious quality, because no president can fully predict outcomes, only influence chances, and must accept that control is never complete. The weight of this responsibility can be heavy, because mistakes are costly, and success is often invisible, felt quietly over time, rather than celebrated in a single moment. When financial policies work well, life simply improves. Little by little, jobs appear, prices stabilize, and hope grows slowly, making it easy to forget the careful decisions that made it possible. But when they fail, the pain is immediate and clear, filling streets with anger and homes with worry, reminding everyone how deeply money shapes daily life. The president stands at the crossroads of these outcomes, carrying both credit and blame, often judged by forces far beyond personal intent. As years pass, the financial choices of one presidency become the starting point for the next, showing how power flows across time, linking leaders in an unbroken chain of responsibility. Future presidents inherit debts, systems, and promises made long before they take office, proving that financial power is never owned fully by one person, only borrowed for a time. This borrowed power must be used with care, because its effects will reach children not yet born, shaping their opportunities, limits, and dreams. In this way, the financial power of the president becomes a quiet form of storytelling, writing the future with numbers instead of words, and leaving behind a record that cannot be erased. The mystery deepens when we realize that many of these decisions happen far from public view, in meetings that never make headlines, where small changes today can lead to great shifts tomorrow. A change in interest rates, a shift in spending priorities, or a new regulation can slowly transform an entire economy, like a river changing course over many years. This slow movement hides the power at work, making it easy to overlook until the effects become impossible to ignore. The president must therefore think not only of the present moment, but of long arcs of time, balancing urgent needs against distant risks and short-term relief against long-term stability. This balance is the true test of financial leadership, because it requires patience, discipline, and the courage to make unpopular choices when necessary. As the day ends in the capital city, lights remain on in offices where financial plans are reviewed again and again, showing that the work never truly stops. Outside, people go about their lives shopping, working, saving, and spending, often unaware of the complex decisions shaping the world around them. Yet their lives are deeply connected to the financial power of the president, even if they never think about it, because every paycheck, price, and public service carries traces of these choices. This connection gives the power both its strength and its danger, because when used wisely, it can lift millions, and when used poorly, it can harm just as many. In the quiet space between action and outcome, the president must trust judgment, advice, and values, knowing that certainty is rare and consequences are real. The financial power of the president is therefore not a single force, but a web of influence, responsibility, and risk stretching across society and time. It is powerful because it shapes reality, mysterious because it works through belief and expectation, and fragile because it depends on trust that can vanish without warning. In the end, this power tells a simple truth, that leadership is not only about commanding people, but about guiding resources in ways that serve the common good. And when history looks back, it will not count speeches or titles, but will measure the true legacy in lives improved, chances created, and futures protected by the quiet, unseen movement of money, guided by one office, one desk, and one human hand.